Hello everybody and welcome to the Three Ranger Bros Studios YouTube channel. I'm of course your host Tai Tiger. I'm one of the three members of course, and today welcome to another Tuesday weekly upload. Today me and Cosplay Dude are coming back with more Kingdom Hearts content. I promise this is going to be one of the last ones for a little while. Kingdom Hearts is a huge and a massive, important game series to myself and Cosplay Dude, and it's one of the reasons why we became friends very quickly, because we don't have anyone else to talk about Kingdom Hearts with, and of course we want to talk more about Kingdom Hearts with you guys. In this particular video, myself and Cosplay Dude 637 came up with 3 non-Disney properties that could be very interesting Disney worlds. Now, of course, we have had a few non-Disney related properties, such as Final Fantasy and The World Ends with You, being a part of Kingdom Hearts' crossover type stuff, and of course, Sora was in Super Smash Bros. But we wanted to talk about what would make interesting worlds. We have to take a few things into account here. First off, no Disney properties, which means that includes Pixar and their live action movies. Second of all, that does include Marvel and Star Wars because they are owned by Disney. Something that we had to take in mind as well is if Sora would change his look because of the rules of the world change within Kingdom Hearts. We know for a fact that, for example, when he enters Halloween Town, because everybody in Halloween Town isn't human and they look all ghoulish and gross, so does Sora, Donald, and Goofy. So we had to take that into account as well. Well, we came up with a fun list, so let's dive in, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell, and of course, let's dive in. Worlds you want to see in Kingdom Hearts that are not Disney related. Do you want to do a quick Disney check? Are any of your 3 worlds, any at all, tied to Disney?
Not that I know of.
There is one of mine I've tried Googling the hell out of to make sure that Disney had nothing to do with it, and by all accounts, I don't think it did.
It was funny because Rita helped me kind of submit my ideas, and because I told her what we were doing, she came up with some of her own, and one of them, yeah, she's like, "Does that count though? Because it's Disney related." I was like, "I don't know," because she was thinking Doctor Who.
See, I don't think so. I know it's on Disney Plus, but I don't know if Disney owns the rights to it.
Yeah, see, that's the problem.
Well, you can go first. You know, age before beauty.
Well, then you're screwed on both accounts.
You just got burned.
Oh shit! Damn. Okay, but still, yeah, you can go first whilst I rub some cream into those wounds. Fucking Nora.
Some aloe vera for your burn.
Yes, aloe vera for my burns. Yes.
Okay, so my first world. No surprise, because if you know me, you would get this one easily. I love the fact I would love to see these 2 main characters work together, which is Sword Art Online. I would love to see Sora and Kirito work together. Their personalities, I just love how much they would match. To see Sora dual wielding next to Kirito dual wielding would just be beautiful. I could see Donald and Goofy being there, you know, helping him out. Because, you know, Kirito has his unofficial harem, so Donald and Goofy could be like, you know, support characters like they are, but just just the thought of seeing the two of them battling together, that's what I would love to see. Even if it's just them fighting, I would love to see the dual wielding.
Yeah, Sword Art Online works. Heartless could easily be, formed into Sword Art Online. They could come up with some really cool Heartless designs. And also, because Sword Art Online is a game, you could, have, obviously, that mechanic in it. Because, obviously, some worlds in Kingdom Hearts do give you new mechanics. For example, Kingdom Hearts 3, Pirates of the Caribbean, you were able to sail the ship, and it had its own battle mechanics and stuff. So, you could implement the whole fact that you're in a video game. You're playing a video game where you're in a video game. That would, it works. That's just a solid pick, bro. Yeah, fair decent. That's a solid pick. Fair play. And you're saying about they'd work, their conversations and stuff would work and everything. One thing that I absolutely would love, just because it's an anime, is I'd love to see their art style change.
Yeah.
Because obviously, the game, Sora can look different, but I'd love if they had a conversation, maybe not too heavy, but kind of play it on the fact of Kiro's well, I don't exactly look like this, and Sora's hey, I don't look like this either.
That would come down to which Sword Art Online season we're talking here, though. Because in Aincrad, he would have to look like himself.
Okay, so which season would you put him in?
See, originally my thought was Aincrad, because I could see it from the Sword Art Online standpoint of it, them thinking it's like a side quest to team up with these guys. But yeah, because Sora would have to be okay, this is how I look. And Kirito would be well, yeah, this is how I look too. I know it. I know you technically you're in a game, but
oh no, that would have to be a running gag. Kirito just keeps calling Sora an NPC for ages, and Sora's always stop calling me an NPC, I don't even know what that means.
That would be hilarious.
He keeps calling Sora an NPC.
He's you got a talking duck and a talking dog with you. What are you talking about? That's just Donald and Goofy. That's normal. No, it's not.
That's another issue, though, that you'd have to figure out is in the world of Kingdom Hearts, they're not allowed to tell people if they're from other worlds. They have to blend in. So, Donald and Goofy would have to, stop Sora from, telling Kirito that he's not from the game. And then, maybe I don't know. It all depends on how they play it. Unless you start off where they appear in a room and they have the headsets, they put on the headsets, and then they enter the game. That's the only real way I can think about, kind of diverting from that, as if they actually enter Sword Art Online.
No,
which would be so cool.
Nah. I would love them just to fall into the game, because I could totally see Kirito trying to fight Donald and Goofy because he thinks they're monsters.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so for my one, I went down a movie route, and I tried to. I wanted to come up with at least one idea that could be completely plausible because of the whole animation, Disney-esque type thing. And I went with the movie Robots, which nobody really talks about anymore. It's, an old film. I grew up with this, it's not a terrible movie. I think it's still pretty good. I still think it holds up. It's not fantastic, but it's fun. And the reason why I picked Robots is because the whole idea in Robots is there are no humans. Everybody's a machine of some kind, which means Donald, Goofy, and Sora would have to be robots as well. And I'd love to see what type of robots they'd become, because Rodney, the main character of the movie, his dad's a dishwasher. He's literally a dishwasher on legs with a head. That's literally what he is. So, it'd be really funny to see what sort of robots they become. The world would be really cool, the city to run around on. Maybe all the Heartless are robots too. They could come up with some really cool designs. The villain, which is some weird lady and her posh son, they'd be really cool villains to have, being able to summon different Heartless and everything. The final act of the movie's in this massive, humongous Iron Forge place where she's melting metal. Oh, she's actually melting robots, technically. That'd be such a cool final battle sort of stage. And also with Rodney, he builds this little robot companion who can fly, and in some cases in the film he holds on to him and he can like lift Rodney up and take him different places. It'd be really cool to use the little robot dude to like maybe traverse across one part of the map to another, or get high up on ledges or something. Kind of use that in gameplay. It'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And also interacting with Fender would be great, because he's also voiced by the same person who voices Genie. So it'd be just kind of cool having Robin Williams kind of, twice in the same game. Yeah, I just think it'd be really funny seeing Donald, Goofy, and Sora as robots.
I could totally see it. Yeah, I would love to see how they played that one off too, especially with Donald and Goofy being animal based. So it'd be interesting to see. I like it. I like it.
With obviously the way that Kingdom Hearts works, sometimes we either follow a movie or we follow a section of the movie, or it's something completely different. I would pick the second option where it's a section of the movie, because the first half of the film is just Rodney kind of finding himself and all that bollocks. So I do the last half of the game where like he's in the city, he's got his friends, they're trying to figure out how to stop the bad guy, and like they're trying to figure out how to get the big rich dude to, stop self-loathing and actually do something. I'd go from like there, maybe go like join Rodney to go find the big wealthy guy, and then have him go, nah kid, go away, leave me alone, and then go fight the big boss and everything. I'd do like the last half of the film. I think that would be a good little where to go from.
I could get behind that. Where section for it to jump into the game at, like you fall in and you just like meet Rodney as he's trying to plan all this stuff. Yeah, I like. Well, my next one technically started out as a game, but it is also an anime. I kind of came up with this one. This was actually the first idea that popped in my head when you threw this at me. And I absolutely adore this game. We all know this. I cosplay a character from this game. But I have a few issues on it. But I could still figure out ways to make it work, but it's still kind of it. Thanks to Xander for bringing it up. But it's Persona 5. I would love to see Sora, Donald, and Goofy show up in Persona 5, even if all they did is hang out with Joker. I would love it, especially if the world they fell into was actually a persona, so that Joker has to team up with them and work with them. I could see them doing outfit changes, because the fact that in Persona 5, when you go into the world of Persona or the metaverse, you do an outfit change. My biggest problem that, thanks a lot to Xander, threw at me was what would Sora's persona be? Because you get a persona in the game. Joker's he has the ability to have multiple ones, but his main one is Arsene. And I was thinking, what if it would be kind of funny if Donald and Goofy became Sora's personas?
Okay, so I have two things to say here. First off, Xander's one of our council members. He's cosplay son. Just thought I'd note that. And it's really funny you say that, because we're parabatized, as you know, and it's really funny because you told me about the Persona 1 before recording, and I was sat there thinking, I know exactly how I would do a Persona world in Kingdom Hearts. And the very first thing I thought of is, it'd be so fucking funny if you work with Joker and then I don't know who the second most popular Persona 5 character is. I don't know. So Joker and someone else, and your personas are Donald and Goofy. That's literally what I came up with.
That's great.
So it's really funny that you say that, because I literally came up with the same idea.
So with you saying that,
do that a lot.
With you saying that, I would say it'd be Joker and Queen that team up with Sora, and then Donald and Goofy become Sora's personas. That would be great.
Because the way that I see it, yeah, I'd have it so they land in a Persona. The world of Persona 5 is the Persona. But the way that I would do it is, it plays like Persona 5. It changes the gameplay, so it's now like a turn-based game, which some people won't like, sure, but it's only for this world. It's only for this specific world. But that's how I would do Persona 5, is literally it's now a turn-based game, and it plays like Persona. Obviously, they'd have to dumb down a few things. Like, obviously, for example, when Joker joined Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, they actually did his final animation he does for his, like, super attack. Obviously, in the Persona game, it's blood that splatters, like the silhouette of blood. In Super Smash Bros., there's actually stars that erupt out of them. It's the silhouette of stars. So they'd have to do something similar. I was actually thinking they could make it Mickey Mouse emblems that erupt from the silhouettes and like fall to the ground, because obviously it's Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, Persona 5 just absolutely works. I love this idea. I'd love to see his outfit, because of course he'd have to get a mask of some kind, because all of them wear masks. So you'd have to, like, and it'd be really cool, like, at the end, Joker's like, hey, you're an honorable member of our team, come back whenever you want, sort of thing. Like, that'd be really cool. Like, he becomes one of the team.
I totally was thinking about the mask thing, too. What if the crown symbol became his mask? Because, Sora's necklace has that crown symbol. It has a spot that could do 2 eyes.
Yeah, they could make his like, where the mask kind of goes from his eyebrows out from his head. It could be like the crown point. Yeah, I could see that.
So
make
that
it red. Yeah. Make it like mostly red and black. Okay, so for my second one, I have Avatar: The Last Airbender. Fantastic show. Do not watch the live action. I have many issues with that. That's a different video. I just working with Aang and Sokka and Toph and all them, like the group meeting Sora, Donald, and Goofy. I really want Sokka to meet Donald and Goofy and just make the sentence, "Did someone spike me with cactus juice again?"
Right. Yes.
Just because he thinks he's tripping. I'm not going to give anyone bending abilities, because that's not how Kingdom Hearts work. But it would be really cool to see Heartless in Avatar. I'd love to see what sort of Heartless they'd make. Same thing with Joker's, Persona 5 as well. The Heartless they could design would be incredible. And I would put this... I was trying to think where I'd put this. And personally, I'd put it at the end of Season 2. But specifically around the whole Fire Nation drill attacking Ba Sing Se. So Ba Sing Se would be your main hub for this world. Like, that's where you'd run around. It's multiple levels. You could, like, scale all the buildings and things. I was trying to think of, like, Kingdom Hearts 3 and Aqua's game, where, like, you can now, like, bolt around quicker and, like, traverse different places. Obviously you could get, like, you could do the underground prison that they do. That could be a part of the story where, like, you have to free everybody from there, and then obviously the drill would be like the final boss type thing, like fighting a Zulu. Maybe turn the drill into a Heartless. That'd be, like, really cool. That's what I'd come up with. Like, because they alternate storylines sometimes for Kingdom Hearts. Like, turn the drill into a Heartless, make that a big final boss. That'd be awesome. And then 2 ideas for Heartless I actually had was one, the prison guard, the officers, like the police officers in Ba Sing Se, they arrest people with earth bending and they make handcuffs, but they're actually rock hands. I was thinking turning them into Heartless, just big rock hands that come after you. I thought that'd be really cool. And then a second Heartless that I thought of was little, not tiny, but smaller at least, evil Heartless Appas.
Okay.
Turning, like, having, like, a flying bison that is, like, always aerial. It can, like, fly down and headbutt you really hard. You have to, like, learn how to, like, time your blocks and stuff. Maybe they can do aerial magic, so they can, like, do arrow or something. So yeah, they're 2 Heartless ideas I had. Obviously, you'd fight Azula, because she's the one that actually commands the big drill, so that would be like her Heartless. You'd have to fight with, and it'd be really cool because Sora can fly, and we know this. It would be kind of cool if, like, there's a mini game or something where you have to race Aang with his
gliding with the glide powers. Yeah.
I thought that'd be really cool. But yeah, Avatar: Last Airbender was my second idea.
Okay. So I got a couple things. I love this idea. Don't get me wrong. I love this idea. But where you're wanting to put it, are we going to get any team ups or any possibility of a team up with Zuko? Because at that time, Zuko and Grandpa are hiding. Or not Grandpa, Uncle.
So the way that I would do that if they wanted to include Zuko and Iroh is maybe make this a world where you can play as Riku in the world as well, but he has a different storyline and have Riku team up with Zuko and Uncle Iroh, and that's his storyline there. You know how like in Dream Drop Distance they both go to the same world but have different stories, or like how Birth by Sleep did it. That's how I would do it. Have being able to play as Riku in the same world, but he teams up with Zuko and Uncle Iroh for something.
Okay, yeah. I totally like that, and I would love because you made the joke about the water, the spiking, him tripping again, cactus juice. I would love Toph to be like, "Yeah, I can totally see them." Wait, no, I can't.
Like it'd be so funny if like one of them was like, "That's a talking duck," and Toph is like, "You're lying to me." Wait, is there actually a talking duck? Are you? Can someone please confirm if there's a talking duck?
And Sora be like, "What? You can't see them?" And she can do the whole hand thing where she rubs her hands in front of her face. Like, hello, I can't see. Oh, that would be good. Okay, so then now we're down to my last one, right?
Yep.
And this one was hard because the first two I came up with just like that. Boom, done. I knew what I wanted to do with them. This one, I went through several different things. I just want to mention a couple of them just for funny reasons. One of them was Supernatural, because I thought Sora working with Sam and Dean would just be hilarious. I didn't really think of like the game mechanics of it. The thought of it, just oh my god, it would be hilarious. I could just see Dean's reaction to some of the stuff. And then I kind of thought like maybe Voltron would be cool because I'm a huge fan of Voltron, and you could give like each one of the Sora, Donald, or Goofy like mini gummy ships that form together to form a giant robot. But I ended up settling on Transformers. More the cartoon, the old Gen 1 cartoon. Mostly I ended up settling on this one because I still want to see Sora as a damn car. But this way he can turn into a human, or turn into a humanoid form. I could see either Donald and Goofy getting their own vehicle forms too, and then they become attachments to when he transforms into his human form. Like they become part of the weapons or something like that, like mini-cons. Or they would get their own form too. But yeah, I just want to see Sora as a car.
Wait, I could be wrong, but in Gen 1, like the original Transformers, don't we have Transformers that combine together like Voltron or like a Megazord? Or do they introduce that in later? Because you could do it that way. We could have Donald, Goofy, and Sora all as their own separate Transformers. And then like for the final boss or something, they combine into one big robot thingy.
Oh my god, this is too funny. This is too funny.
Okay, so obvious question here. With we talked about cars before, like the movie, but they'd have to be vehicles like cars. But in Transformers, they can literally be anything. So Donald, Goofy, and Sora, what vehicle would they transform into?
Well, I definitely want Sora as a car, something more akin to Hot Rod, because Hot Rod's my favorite Transformer. I was thinking something more construction type for Goofy. You know, more like the demolition bots from Decepticons.
Yeah.
But I wasn't 100% sure on what. And Donald, I actually was going to go something really stupid like a camera. Or something like completely useless, like a vacuum or some junk.
No, this is where he becomes a submarine.
Sticking to his aquatic theme, yeah.
Yeah. But no, yeah, honestly, like, nowadays, if you look at the really strange things they've done with Kingdom Hearts, the stories they've told, and things, like, anything's kind of, like, on the table, and right now, as we're recording this, Kingdom Hearts 4 isn't out. It's not. We literally know zilch, almost nothing. So like. You know, you can't really say, well, that's not possible, you know, or anything. Yeah, it sounds funny. It'd be an absolute flippin' laugh to be Sora that can transform. His key, that would be like the biggest Keyblade he's ever wielded, by the way. That'd be funny. So are we putting it? Are you gonna take like an episode, or are you gonna have like an original story here, but it's just based in the TV show?
So I'd want it more centered around Gen 1, but yeah, I think it had like its own storyline. Because I would love to see Autobot Sora working with the two humans that are in Gen 1 also. Because he's human himself, so he's like, wait a minute, this is a little weird.
Okay, so hear me out a second. What if instead of Heartless, there were nobodies that they have to fight in Transformers? Because you'd have some really slick silver nobodies, but they could also transform into stuff. But give them like for example, you know, one form of the nobody could turn into a big pickaxe or a big, you know, something construction-esque that they could like hit you with and then transform back, and like that's part of their animation is they could transform into something and, you know, hit you a few times until they transform back, but they could be smaller, air quote, Decepticons, but instead of a Decepticon logo, it's the Nobody logo. You know, just I would use Nobodies personally. Megatron with an armored Nobody sounds pretty actually terrifying.
Yeah, it does actually sound quite scary. Thank you for that. I'm gonna have nightmares now.
Well, because like you could even have it's like Megatron's working with one of the organization members, and you can even have a line from Megatron where he's like, "What? I've never trusted humans. As you can see, you don't see any humans around here. You know, I'm not as pitiful as Prime. You know, or something like that. You have like a throwaway line from Megatron."
I like it, and like I was just thinking, it would be so cool if you got a transforming Keyblade. Because you like it when the Keyblades change.
Yeah.
So it would be cool to have a Keyblade that's actually like, it looks like a Keyblade, but then it transforms with a whole sound effect, and it's a different weapon completely.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Because each Keyblade transformation has its own unique transformation anyway. So like making it very Transformer-esque would just be like absolutely brilliant. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Okay, so my last one is Digimon. And for once, I'm actually going with the first Digimon, which is Digimon Adventures. So this is placed in the digital world. That's the world they'll go to, is the digital world. And I thought of like a more unique story where it's actually kind of based on a role play that me and you did, sorta. So basically, Sora, Don, Goofy meet Agumon and Goblimon, who are looking for Matt and Tai. They've lost them and they don't know where they are. They're fighting Heartless, who they think is just corrupted Digimon, but they're not. They're actually Heartless. And obviously, we get some fun Digimon-themed Heartless or something. Obviously, you know, we could throw in some bad guy Digimon to fight as well. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if their looks would change, because obviously the humans go into the digital world, their looks don't change. So I think they look the same. But you'd work with Goblimon and Agumon. They'd be their, you know, that's your tag team for the world. And you're going to look for Matt and Tai. When you do eventually find Matt and Tai, you have to fight, you know, a big bad, whether that's a Heartless or a Digimon, you know, that doesn't matter. But for the final fight, that's where Agumon and Goblimon warp Digivolve into Wargreymon and Metalgarurumon, and then, you know, do a final fight. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And then I'd have it so everyone thinks it's all hunky-dory, you know, the world is saved, Sora's ready to lock the world, or whatever the storyline is, and then there's a bigger bad guy, or the bad guy comes back with a bigger form, either way, and then they have to turn to Omnimon, and you add just Sora. Don and Goofy don't get to be in this boss fight, but as Sora alone, you get to work with Omnimon and get to tag team with him and take down the big final boss fight.
That would be so cool. That yeah. I mean, you know how I feel about Omnimon, so yeah. The only note I want to throw in there, because you said you're not too sure about costume changes. The only thing I would change on Sora is I'd give him a pair of goggles, because as Tai has stated multiple times at Digimon, every leader of the Digidestined needs a pair of goggles.
Well, that would be cool. Yeah, he gets a pair of goggles. Yeah, that'd be sick. Like what would be really cool as well. One thing we didn't talk about is in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, is it 1 or was it just number 2? When you go to a world, you end up being able to summon someone from the world. It'd be really cool if you got to like one of your summons were able to be one of the other Digidestined that we didn't see. So obviously, I'm only picking Agumon and Gabumon. So maybe it'd be like, I don't know, maybe Bergamon or Palmon or something. Maybe you could summon Togemon and she just spins around the place spraying needles everywhere or something. You know, it'd be really cool to summon a Digimon as a summon. That'd be really cool.
That would be very cool. I like that. So as we've been talking, I came up with a challenge for a friend of yours, Ty.
Okay.
So I have a challenge for the librarian.
Okay.
I want to see Keyblades from each world we just created.
Like Sora's Keyblade for each world?
Yeah.
Okay, so this would be like a part 2 type deal where we can get the librarian in. Okay.
We can get the librarian involved, because I think that would be kind of fun.
No, I like it. Okay, I shall converse with said librarian and I'll see what I can do.
All right. I have faith in you, bro, so okay.
Thanks, I think.
Don't let me down.
But yeah, there you go. Six ideas for worlds of Kingdom Hearts.
And there we have it, guys. Our 6 worlds that we potentially would want to see that aren't Disney related. Honestly, I think we came up with a really good job. And as the title states, this is Sora's edition. After what you just listened to, whilst recording still, we kind of came up with the idea that maybe we should do the same for Riku and Aqua, as those two are the most other played characters within the Kingdom Hearts franchise. And that's exactly what we'll do. But don't worry, we're taking a break from the Kingdom Hearts content, and we shall go into something different next week. With that being said though, if you did like the Kingdom Hearts content, do let us know what's your favourite game within the franchise. We really want to know. And of course, if you could pick anything in the entire world to be a world in Kingdom Hearts, what would it be? We want to hear your choices as well. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and of course, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell, and make sure you check out Tiger Tales Game Over to listen to my own Kingdom Hearts fanfictional story and Cosplay Dude's fanfictional Kingdom Hearts story as well. There are 3 there to talk about, 3 there to listen to, so make sure you check out Tiger Tales Game Over for them. Thank you everyone for watching, and we shall see you guys next week. Hey, I just had a really strange email. Let me check this. Oh. Okay. Seems like Ty and Cosplay 267 did another Kingdom Hearts video. Like I don't already have enough on my plate. Oh, and Cosplay Dude wanted me to design Keyblades. I do like designing Keyblades. But judging by this video, they came up with all different types of stuff. Alright, Cosplay Dude. Challenge accepted. But you're gonna get more than what you bargained for. Free Ranger Bros Studio fans, I shall see you soon.